Hey everybody, it's Darrell with this week's Back 40 broadcast. Always bringing you a nugget or a nudge to support you in creating your second half of life as your best half. And if you are here live, please go into the comments, say that you're here live. I know a lot of times it's hard for people in the middle of the day to take a whole lot of time. We try to keep it rather short, and we see that a lot of people are watching this afterwards. So if you are here live, say you're here live, say hi, send a heart. And if you're seeing this later, just still come in. Say that you checked in on this. Say what your thoughts were about this. Throw out any questions that came up for you around what we're talking about today. So today I put out a newsletter that I always do at 10 o'clock Pacific time. And the subject for today is tell someone. And, here in the Back 40, we say that you have yet to do what you came here to do. And that means no matter how big of a games you've played already, your big game is still to come. That's still ahead of you. You may be 86, 95 before you play your biggest game. And that empowers us. That empowers us because what if, no matter what we've already accomplished, life isn't about, accomplish some things and then, it's down and out. What if life is about up and out? And so if that's going to be the case and you have yet to do what you came here to do, then, that second half might be different than the way society kind of says it's supposed to be, because society says you're supposed to have it figured out by then, or that, you've accomplished something and therefore you know. But look, if you're going to accomplish something bigger, there's going to be more to learn. And there's this kind of image or motif that we have in the West, especially, of the self-made man, the self-made woman, and, the John Wayne swagger of, having it all together. And yet, behind and beneath everybody, there are challenges, and there are personal and growth challenges to overcome. So, in the Back 40, we say, expect and invite that in the second half versus let's go along with what society says is that our wisdom and everything is supposed to have it all figured out. And, being in communication, telling someone what's going on with you, especially, as we get into our later years, a lot of times it's kind of like we've been through life, or we've been burned, or, we revealed something and someone betrayed us. There's just so many reasons in the second half of life that, people can keep to themselves. Maybe they've developed a particular persona, at that point of life, and they've got to keep that going on. I mean, oh my God, we lost Robin Williams several years ago. And, that's just one example of, a particular persona. Now, I'm sure the people who knew him best, hey, Alexandra Levin, thanks for saying hi. And by the way, if you're coming in, just say hi. Just wave, say hi. I was actually at a memorial service a couple months ago. Wasn't someone I knew personally, but my dear loved one, Alexandra, is a friend of hers and a friend of a lot of friends of hers. And this particular individual was jovial. He was the life of the party. He was so well loved. I've never seen a temple so overflowing with people coming to pay their respects. I mean, if you want to see how someone was regarded in this lifetime, look at who shows up for their memorial service. My grandfather had just so many people drive 3-4 hours away to come to his memorial service, to come to his funeral. Anyhow, this particular person, so loved, took himself out. You know, people knew he was dealing with depression, but nobody knew that it would go that far, and kind of unexpectedly just, you know, took himself out. And, you know, us being willing to tell someone, being willing to be open, being willing to share ourselves, even at this midlife point where we're supposed to have it all figured out, or we're supposed to, you know, we want to look good, use our wisdom. You know, the tendency is people can really move into more and more silos. And not only for good mental health and for good community's sake do we want to be talking, we want to be sharing, but especially if we have yet to do what we came here to do, and that big game is still in front of us. So make sure you go check out the full blog that I have up on the screen there. But I'm going to share with you 4 tips for sharing what matters most. Sharing and telling someone what's going to help you move forward. And again, this goes against some of what we learn from society that we're supposed to do, or how we're supposed to have it together. The first is bear. Be willing to show your warts. Now, you want to find out if somebody's really someone that you can share with, someone who's really going to be there in your corner, even at the beginning of a relationship. Why waste time? Why waste time? You know, bear something, you know, show your warts. A very wise man said, if you want to see if a relationship really has stickability, then put your worst foot forward. You know, we all live like put the best foot forward, you know, look good, look together. Basically, he said, show your real self. Now, again, it's not about trying to sabotage anything, but at the same time, to the degree that we can bear our real selves, then we can actually see, you know, how many warts that we have can this person hold. You know, we've got our wonders. We don't want to, you know, step over our wonders, but being able to bear our warts real early on can show, you know, what the real stickability of this relationship may be. Number 2, dare. So here's a cool little practice that I did with my loved one, Alexandra, when we were starting to date and get to know each other. And, you know, especially around romantic relationships, this takes a lot of courage, but it's pretty cool, is what if every time you meet, you tell that person the thing you most don't want them to know about you? So what I'm saying is, you know, again, especially in romantic relationships, we want to look like we have it together, we look good, you know, show up. Well, what if, as part of that natural getting to know each other, you go to the bottom and you tell them the thing at that point that you most don't want them to know? And guess what? If another date happens, they could handle that one. Okay, then you tell them the next one you most don't want them to know. But notice you went to the bottom first and you're working your way up. Talk about learning if somebody is really there for the long haul. Put your worst foot forward. Tell them the thing you most don't want them to know. Now, again, takes a lot of courage and trust. But don't you want a trusting relationship? And you have to be the change that you want to see and that you want to have anyhow, right? So dare, and then share. Share. You know, here's a cool exercise. If you want to really get the support, if you really want to be supported to be who you came here to be and do what you came here to do, which is what we say is possible in the Back 40, under our philosophy, not under society's general philosophy, then go ask someone if you can share with them what your big dream is. Ask them if you can, if they can be trusted to empower you in that big dream. Ask them if you can tell them, what you're going to get done by when around that dream. Tell them the actions. Ask them if they would let you tell them the actions. Ask them if they will really let you check in with them and schedule times to check in with them, and that they will be straight with you when you're not being who you said you wanted to be or doing what you said you wanted to do. Sharing our big dreams versus keeping them inside will enable them to happen. When they stay inside, for the most part, they don't. And then tell them what you're up to. Set them up to be your accountability buddy. Because I'll tell you what, if you really care enough to fulfill on that dream and what you would love to see possible for your life, if you care enough, then having somebody to hold you to account for what you said you were going to do. Because look, we'll all lie to ourselves. We will lie to ourselves and say what we're going to do one day and all of this kind of stuff. In the Back 40, someday doesn't exist. In the Back 40, it's now, and it's being who I came here to be now, to fulfill on what I came here to do now. So care enough to set yourself up. And when we communicate that way with each other, and when we really start sharing our dreams with each other, and we start being accountable with each other, there's going to be more of the openness, more of the insurance there, that we don't go off on our own and stay in our own private little Idaho and take ourselves out when the challenges come. Because guess what? If you have yet to do what you came here to do, the big challenges will keep coming. So those are the 4 tips for today. And I do want to give you a heads up that we have our Back 40 Renew All program that's on special right now today. And I invite you to go check that out. I'm going to actually put that up on the screen here. And it's really about supporting people to take on the challenges, to develop a new relationship with challenges such that they actually empower you. Because we're going to all go through a whole lot of transitions in order to become who we came here to be and do what we came here to do. So the Back 40 Renew All program is to really about bringing out all of you in a new way. So I invite you to check that out, and make sure you, again, put comments down below if you're seeing this in the replay. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Have a radical week.